Ever wondered how to break into the world of live sound? Well, come with me and I'll share 5 ways for you to get your career kick-started in live sound. I've spent 10 years working from the tiniest little stages to really quite big stages, and on tiny events that mean nothing to huge events that mean loads. Whether you're contemplating studying audio for 4 years or you just want to get your hands dirty and get experience right away, I've got your back. The cornerstone of all of this is skills, and if you don't have EQ skills yet, check out my free EQ guide. It's in the description down below. 3 steps to perfect EQ. Now let's dive into my 5 tips. Strategy number 1, of course, is to study at a university or other type of institution. If you study at a university, it's going to set you on your way. So the benefit of this is they're going to give you a clearly structured learning path. The university is your guide to gaining the knowledge you need to work in professional audio. So they offer you broad, connected learning, right? You're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff which all slots in together and in theory makes you a well-balanced person capable of diving into any facet of audio. It comes with a lot of guidance. You have mentors and people to ask questions to. All you need to do is apply, and then there they are right in front of you, giving you specialist knowledge. It's also really fun and a great life experience. You'll learn so much more than just audio by undertaking something as advanced as university. You will learn to commit to something and follow it through until the end. And that says a lot about your character. More than any piece of paper can say about your ability to mix audio, it says that you are capable of following through. But it's not all love and roses, it's no magic bullet. When you come out the other side of a university qualification, you are still going to be in fierce competition for those jobs. If you think that by gaining a qualification, you'll suddenly be better at sound than the other people who are going for the job who didn't go to university, you'll be completely wrong. Because if you go to university for 4 years and someone else goes and mixes shows for 4 years, I guarantee you they'll be better at mixing shows by the time you come out of university. It is very good, very fun, but no substitute for real-world experience. It can be very expensive. A lot of the information that you learn is publicly available in libraries and online on YouTube channels anyway. And quite a lot of the time, if you know exactly what you want to do in life, you can feel like you're wasting time studying other things. You can be studying things like audio for film or games design when you know you just want to be standing in a venue mixing a rock and roll gig. But if you don't know exactly what you want to do, but you know that you want to work within audio, then it's a really sound way to get started. It will show you all of the options. It will let you try your hand at studio work, at live work, at Foley work, at post-production, and you can decide which one of these resonates with you. But since this is a channel about live audio, you're probably looking for another way in. So why don't you consider getting an entry-level job at an audio company? Here's what you want to do. You want to Google AV production companies, audio production companies, PA rental companies, audio rental companies, and you want to just create a nice big list of all the companies that rent out sound systems and all the other equipment to big events in your area. Once you've got a nice big list of companies, you're going to start getting in touch with them. Phone them up, send them an email, and say to them, hey, I'm really interested in a career in live audio. Is there any chance I can come to your warehouse, or I think you call it a shop in America, and talk to you about working with you guys or about what you do? Someone is almost incredibly likely to let you come in and have a chat and look around the place. It's very unlikely that they're going to say, congratulations, you're now a sound engineer. But they might let you come into the warehouse and coil cables or pack boxes to go out on jobs. They might let you come on the jobs and unload the truck, pack the truck. But ultimately what you're earning there is you're earning the right to be in the field, watching professionals work and talking to professionals. And that is worth way more than you think it is. If you get a job at one of these companies, you have access to people at the top of their game who are doing this regularly, who are willing to talk to you and listen to you and explain things to you. You can ask them, why do you do that a certain way? How do I set up a mixer to get a DJ just up and running? You can come along on jobs with them, and when they're not super busy, you can say, how did you do that? You can use your downtime in the warehouse to connect up speakers and play music out of it. Ask yourself, how does it sound? Ask others how it sounds. Get tips and get better. If you work for a really nice company and you're really determined, you might even get them to train you to be an audio engineer. That's the goal. The goal is to accumulate enough knowledge that you are useful to that company as an audio professional. Be clear from day one that what you want to do is work within audio, and make sure that that is what you're moving towards every single week. There are downsides to this path though. You can quite easily get trapped in menial work. You can spend a year just lifting staging on and off of trucks, and you are too tired and physically exhausted to actually learn anything or go and ask the questions that you need to ask. You might be working for a company that has no interest in training you up to be an audio engineer. They might just want another person to unload the trucks. You're not in control of your own progression at this point. It's not you that's calling the shots. You're working for a company, they're the boss. And it's often very physical, at the beginning especially, with dreadful hours. You get called and asked, hey, can you turn up at midnight so you can rig down this whole arena and then load a truck and you'll be done by 7 a.m. Oh, and we're going to pay you basically nothing. It's quite a big price to pay to get your foot in the door. But ultimately, you need to get your foot in the door somehow. So maybe this is the way for you. But maybe you're more like me and you have some sort of authority problem complex and are terrible at being an employee. Then you have to kind of make your own future, right? You still need to acquire the competence to be a great audio professional, to be useful to these companies and to other people who might hire you. But you need to do that on your own terms. So that's why I recommend freeloading with your friends. Make friends with people who play in bands and hang around them a lot. Ask if you can go to their rehearsal space and listen to them play. When you're there listening to them play, ask if you can mess about with the mixer and try and make everything sound better. Why not read the manual on the mixer while you're sitting there, while they're playing, and see if you can work out what every single button does, and then how to use each dial to make the sound better, objectively. Ask yourself, does this sound good? Does it sound bad? If it sounds bad, why does it sound bad? Can I do something about that with the tools that I have in front of me? Once you feel comfortable messing around with the mixer, ask them if you can tag along to their shows with them. Come in, help set their gear up, get used to being around shows. Ask them if you can mix their show. Email ahead to the venue and say, we're going to bring our own tech. They might need a little help on the mixer, but we'd like them to mix our show. And then 9 times out of 10, the venue engineer is very happy to facilitate you getting some experience. Again, this whole job is about being useful to someone. So just keep doing that until you're useful, until you're better at mixing their gigs than the person in the venue. Then the venue might ask you to work for them. Of course, the next level up is just harassing everyday people, right? Because once you're going to these venues regularly, then you have a chance to talk to the engineer who's working in that venue. So you want to make sure you're at as many shows as possible, and then you want to go up to the engineer and ask them if they have time for you to ask a question or two. They might be incredibly busy. They might not have time for you to ask them a question, and that's okay. Just say, no problem, talk to you later, try another day. If they do have time to take your questions, then why not just ask them something really simple about what they're doing? Ask them how long they've worked on that mixer. Ask them if they like using that mixer. Say, I've never tried that one before. Is it good for beginners? And then just try and build up a little bit of a relationship where you can get to know them even slightly. If you seem to get on well with them, ask them if they would mind if you came along one day when they were setting up and that you could just watch them and learn how to be useful, and that you would like to help them out, but really at the start you just want to watch them. If they say yes, do that. Watch, ask questions, ask if they need help, and if they say yes, ask them how to do things. After the show is done or after the setup's done, ask them for feedback. How did I do? What could I do to be better? Are there any skills you think I could learn to make myself more useful to you? Take that feedback on board. Go away and work on it. But also, before you leave, ask them if you can come back and shadow them again. And set a date before you leave, because the amount of people that ask if they can shadow, come in, watch you mix one show and then leave and never ever come back, you're not going to learn anything by coming along once. You need to go regularly to get that information in your head. And here we are again at the end. Keep doing that. Repeat that process until you are useful, until you are solving problems for them. And then when they can phone you and say, can you solve this problem for me? That is when you're in. Now the fifth way is kind of a cheat, because really to succeed in this industry, you need to do this final thing, and that is all of these 4 together. I'm not saying strictly you need to go to university, but you need to study. You need to study in your spare time and increase your knowledge of the field on an academic level. You need to try and get on shows doing whatever you can. You need to make friends who are playing shows, who are likely to ask you to come along to get you that hands-on experience. And you need to find a mentor. You need to find someone who is going to let you watch them, let you plug in the cables, and more importantly, let you make the little mistakes while they watch and can fix them. So tip 5 then is all of the above. Study and update your knowledge, get hands-on experience, make friends, and get a mentor. If you're considering university, I made a video asking, is university for audio worth it? And if you want to dive right in, here's a video on how to mix guitars. If this was useful, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.